what are your thoughts on conversion therapy? Even though it's illegal now in India, but it's still being practiced by some quacks and babas. So, what is your thought on that? What would you like to say about it?
I would even go on to say that conversion therapy is practiced in the confines of chambers by very esteemed professionals. But the problem is the banning thing that you talked about. It's not explicitly banned in the sense that there are position statements from professional psychological bodies and mental health bodies that this is outdated treatment and should not happen. But banning is something that should be codified in the form of law, like this particular therapy is banned. And these are the penalties if you have engaged in these therapies as a professional right now. But there's a catch. So while doctors have their license, which can be snatched away, the process of regulating the mental health ecosystem is not as strong in the Indian context, because there are many unregistered mental health professionals and many sorts of paramental health professionals with counseling diploma or with different sorts of degrees that are not recognized by a central body. Now, it is not their fault that it is not recognized by the central body, but I think systemically there should be an initiative to sort of pool the entire mental health fraternity into a license or registration bracket, so that you are responsible for holding your license and you're also responsible for the harm that you do with that license, so that it has direct impact on your livelihood. But since this cost has not been established through law, I think a lot of people can just go ahead with it without giving 2 cents about the outcomes. So that is one thing. Another thing is who gets the money into the mental health center. Usually queer trans persons are often economically deprived, so their families are funding the conversion treatment. Now, to be a doctor or mental health professional who would avoid that capital flowing from the family and actively take a stand, considering the corrupt nature of situations in our country, you would also understand that is a radical step, which many professionals do not take, but they should take, of course, and therefore the need for stringent laws. And if I move forward a bit, when I talk about babas and quacks, what is the way of holding them accountable? I don't know, because there you do not have a license. But what you can definitely do is you can expand this law to include anyone who might engage in this practice, and if caught, this person will have certain penalties, which can be irrespective of the license also, like fine or anything that will be binding. And I think only then we can, actively resist. And there's also the need for parental and family sensitization, because I think if we can do it really well and really create that ecosystem where all parents and families, they actively believe in the spectrum of gender sexuality, then I think the need to convert that these families feel will also be, tackled to a great extent, because a lot of it often comes from ignorance, not knowing, fear of uncertainty, lack of adequate resources, social stigma, taboos, and a lot of things. So I think it's a multifaceted issue, but conversion, of course, is not something that is at all desirable, and neither is it founded in scientific research. It also has quite lasting psychological harm on individuals, with outcomes as drastic as suicidal thoughts, ideations, and even committed acts. So I think that it goes without saying that it is not a therapeutic cure, but a therapeutic violence.
Even though the government has stated that conversion therapy is illegal, but what is the action being taken here?
Yeah,
right?
And also I think that the government, in the way they have stated it, it might be a little bit of mention in the Mental Health Care Act that you should not discriminate against a person on the basis of their gender identity or sexual orientation, not engage in dated practices which do not hold research evidence. But once again, these can be very broad legal frameworks, right? You need to have a due anti-conversion law, which will cover conversion in depth and actually hold protection for the community. I think that is missing. And once again, in the face of money, a lot of lose our morals. I think that is a professional ethic that we all need to commit to. That just because someone is paying me to do harm on another person, I will not actively engage in that. I think that is a basic ethic that mental health professionals by this time should be deeply committed to.